My family has 2 kitchens. My grandma's house had 2 kitchens, a kitchen that was just for show and a kitchen that was downstairs where all the action happened. My mom has 2 kitchens. Upstairs, if you open up the cabinets, there's paperwork inside. Downstairs is where it all happens. And we're building a new home, and the plan is to have 2 kitchens. Growing up, I didn't have to think about what it meant to be Italian. I didn't know anything outside of my grandparents' farm in Welby, Colorado. Even now, I can be there, where dawn came to the farm with the smell of coffee and the sound of muffled conversation coming through the downstairs vents. The sun peeked through the clouds as I waited for my grandparents to disappear into the fields to harvest produce for the roadside vegetable stand. I didn't want my grandma to worry that it was too early for me to be up, or that it was too cold, or that the bushels were too heavy. I'd sneak into the garage where I stashed my field clothes and my special gloves from my grandpa. I would run out the back door and into the cornfields, a few rows ahead of my grandpa. I can still feel the scratch of the corn leaves hitting my face as I squeezed down the narrow rows. As quickly as I could, I would pick the ears of corn with my little hands and leave the full bushels at the end of the row to surprise my grandpa. He would come and find me, give me a great big hug, and let me drive his red tractor back to the house. We would head straight to the kitchen. Like many Italian-American homes, my grandparents' house had 2 kitchens, one for show and one where the real cooking took place. We only used the kitchen in the basement. It was the heart and core of our family. Nobody ever used the upstairs kitchen or the front door. If someone went to the front door, we knew they were a stranger. 15 years later, my grandparents built a new house, and it still has 2 kitchens. Every Sunday, my family gathers for macaroni after church. The house is filled with sound and movement. My grandma is busy watching her giant pot of boiling water, checking to make sure all 30 family members have arrived. If someone's missing, she has to call them and ask when she should put on the macaroni. During the meal, my family catches up on the week's events. We reconnect. During the meal, I feel what it means to be Italian. When my husband and I started our own family, we decided to build our own home on my grandparents' farm. We affectionately call it the compound. We're joining my grandparents, my parents, my 2 uncles, and my brother. 6 houses on one farm. It wasn't a question. It just wouldn't feel right any other way. The corn has been replaced by grass and go-karts. But today, we're growing something much more important: family and tradition. The building of our own home is almost complete. And yes, it has 2 kitchens.